بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Okay, this is Practical Self-Ruqya part 9. And what we want to do here, just do a little video basically explaining how we can find out who's actually giving you ayn. Okay, now, as you know in Practical Self, if you watched it, Practical Self-Ruqya part 6, we talk about how to find a ta'weed and how we use Ruqya diagnosis to get that. And then find it and destroy it. Alhamdulillah. Well, we can use the same sort of process, okay, for finding out who's actually giving you ayn, you see. Now, I didn't really want to do this at the beginning, but when I saw of seeing so many people suffering from ayn, I mean, there's so much ayn out there. It's more than the sihr. And the hadith is clear, about people dying from ayn. We know this. And there are a lot of people with ayn, suffering from ayn. So, when I did istikhara, I thought, I really need to share this with the people, because this thing, we can't really hide this knowledge when it could actually literally save lives. Once you know who the person's actually giving you ayn, you wash with their water, then you can get cured from the ayn, you see. Before we go into the process, it's essential, even with the first one, like we said in Practical Self-Ruqya part 8, that you can't do this process, this sort of diagnosis, if you've got sins. If the person's got sins, it doesn't work. Alright, so it's essential that if you do this on yourself, or you're reading on somebody else, that they don't have any sins. You yourself, the Raqi, don't have any sins, and obviously the patient themselves, they don't have sins. You can't be someone who's sinning and doing this, because it's not going to work. Ruqya is a dua. If you've got sins, it's not going to work. Okay? Especially if your jinn is speaking as well. That's one of the signs that you've got sins. Right? You've got your jinn speaking, you can't be doing this process. Okay? You cannot be doing this process. Okay? Now the first thing what you've got to do to find out who's giving you the ayn is that you've got to diagnose yourself with ayn or hasad. Well, what we usually do is just join them together. Hasad obviously is just another form of ayn. So what I do is just put them together. I don't separate them. Okay, I don't separate them. So we diagnose and we ask Allah. So we ask Allah to cure the person from any ayn that they're suffering from. Oh, Allah, cure the person from any ayn that they're suffering from. And you get reactions. Well, you're suffering from ayn, obviously. Okay, so the treatment has become a diagnosis. All right, so the person is suffering from ayn. Okay, the person is suffering from ayn. Okay, what you could do then, or when you're reading yourself and you find this, you've got ayn, you read it on yourself and you did a diagnosis and you reacted to that ruqya, you treated yourself for ayn, you start to react, it means you've got ayn. Okay, what I suggest that you do then would be to read on yourself as if you've given yourself ayn, because we don't know. We only know by you reading ruqya on yourself. You could have given yourself ayn, that's a possibility. We know this from experience. So, why don't you read on yourself as if you've given yourself ayn? So we ask the patient to read on themselves as if they're giving themselves ayn. And if they get reactions, what does it mean? It means they've given themselves ayn. So in that situation, what we would say is that the person should prepare the ghusl water from their own selves and then wash with it. So they themselves prepare ghusl water, prepare it, and then wash with their own ghusl water. Okay? And obviously, when they do this, have to have the intention that when they're preparing this ghusl water, collecting this water, they're preparing it to get rid of their ayn which they've given themselves. You see, because obviously countless of times they've probably washed with their own water, and when they're in the bath or in the shower, and it's not affected them. Why is that? Because of the intention. So this intention is really important, that they make the intention before they, when they're collecting their water, that they're collecting this water so they can cure the ayn which they've given themselves. You see. And to work out, I've got an article on my website, practicalselfruqya.com, on how to actually prepare and wash with the ayn perpetrator's water. So you can look at that to find out more information about how to actually do that. Okay. So maybe somebody's done that and they washed themselves and they got cured from their ayn. Okay. Another person might do that and they get no reaction. So the person who's given the ayn is not themselves. So what do you do then? Okay. Well, you can read, choosing a particular person who you think might have given you the ayn and read on it. So, oh Allah, cure me from any ayn which Abdullah has given me. Oh Allah, cure me from any ayn that Abdullah has given me. If you get a reaction, then no, Abdullah has given you the ayn. So go get his water then and ask for it. And what you should do there is, why don't you offer your water to him, because you might have given him ayn, and he gives you his water. That will make it a little bit easier for you to get his water, you see. Now it could be that you've got a number of people who are actually giving you ayn. So what do you do in that situation? Because we need to tick them off. Just like how we did with the ta'weed in Practical Self Ruqya Part 8, we needed to know it was 2 ta'weed. So once we knew it was 2 ta'weed, we located them. It could have been 5 or 6 ta'weed, and like I said in that video, some patient had 8 connected to them, and so they have to find them all, you see. So here you have to work out how many people have given you ayn. So you read with that, you read with another intention of asking Allah to cure you from the ayn which 10 people have given you. See if you react to that. If you react to that, then you know that 10 people have given you ayn, you see. Now why does that work? Well, when you're reading yourself, for Allah wa'ala cure me from ayn, from whoever it is, that could be X number of people who could have given you ayn. So you hit, your ruqya is basically hitting X number of people, but you don't know what X is. I mean, this is the same process as we used when you try to work out the number of jinn inside your body, which I talked about in Practical Self Ruqya Part 4 and 5. You see, so the same sort of process here. So you've got a number of people who have given you ayn, and when you read that, oh, Allah cure me from all the ayn which you are suffering from is reacting. You could have ayn from 5 people, but it's all reacting, you see. But you don't know the number. The number will be X. So it's all Allah cure me from all the ayn that I'm suffering from. Cure me from all the ayn that you're suffering from. So when you read that, all of the ayn that you're suffering from is reacting. Okay, to work out the number, then you work out by just changing the number. So X now will be changed into 5 or 6, Or you can do, like I think I said in Practical Self Ruqya Part 4 and 5, you could do 10 or less people. You might get a reaction for that. And that's what it usually is. It's not really, you're not going to get more than 10. Usually there will be maybe 3 or 4 people, maybe. The number will be usually maybe 1 or 2. No more than 3 usually. But if it's going to be more, it won't be more than 10. It won't be, I never come across a case of more than 10. You see, so, you work out, so you can ask Allah to show you if it's 5 or 6 or 7 like this, and go through the numbers basically. Or to make it a little bit easier, 10 or less. If I got ayn from, cure me from 10, or cure me from ayn which is from 10 or less people, and like that. Okay. Once you know that you've got, let's say it's 3 people who have given you the ayn. So now you have to identify those 3 people. Okay, are these 3 known people? That's what you should do next. Are these 3 known people? Cure me from ayn which are from 3 known people. Or Allah cure me from ayn which is from 3 known people. And if you get a reaction to that, then you know all of them. You know them, And then through there you can go through, is it through your friends? Are they in your workmates? Are they your colleagues? Are they in your family? You can go through that. Are they in your same city? And then slowly you go through certain people and you get it. I mean, obviously it is there are a number of ways of identifying those people, but I mean it's quite broad the way, so we can leave that. There's not a fixed way of doing it. What I usually do, I try to reduce it. So I would do it with is it from my friends? Is it from me? If it's from the friends, patients, friends, then family. I wouldn't usually maybe start from the city, but you can. I suppose you can if you don't really know who it is, because or your family. But if you're like a Somali like myself, then you can go through the tribes. Is it from so and so tribe, from some tribe, and they make it very easy. It's one of the benefits of having tribes, knowing the tribe names. You can go through like that. You got cure me from ayn from so and so tribe, cure me from ayn from so and so tribe. Then you can break it out, because your family could be quite a big family, like the Somalis. Like my family's quite big. And it's difficult to work out who it is, from sometimes. But by doing that, you can work out who's actually giving you the ayn, and then obviously you can approach them and get their water, and you can also offer your water to them, because that will make it easy for you to get their water. Okay. Now somebody might say, oh, this is going to cause a lot of fitna. Fitna is going to cause a lot of problems. Yes, I mean even I was of this opinion, that I didn't want to really teach people this point, because it's going to cause a lot of problems. But when I see the number of people who are suffering from ayn, and people are dying from cancer because of ayn, and the fact that we can ask people for their water anyway, so we can just take guesses. Oh, here, just give me a water, please give me a water. Nobody can say that you're doing anything wrong like that. But when you got information like this helps. Obviously you can, narrow it down to 1 or 2 people who maybe have given you the ayn, you see. So I can't see how much of a fitna. We have to balance it up here. We have to look at the fact that people are very ill and they're literally dying because of the ayn. And you think about how much fitna is it really going to cause? Because people are allowed to ask for people's water anyway. You see, and what we've seen, it doesn't cause that much fitna when you ask for people's water. Because we all know that we could all give ayn. Even I can give it to myself, I can give it to my family or my friends. I can give it to them. So it doesn't cause too many problems when you ask for people's water, really. So when I look at all of that, I did istikhara as well. I'm thinking that, it was, there is much more benefit in doing this rather than not teaching the people this, you see. Now, but one thing you have to know about this now, and this is the reason why I wrote that article, 7 Rules of Specific Ruqya. Don't do stupid things with the Ruqya. Okay, don't do stupid things with the Ruqya. Like, has this given me ayn? Well, how can this give you ayn? Or is this giving you ayn? The pen is giving you ayn. How can ayn? Let's not do this. Because we already know what the answer to that is. This can never give you ayn. So then why are you asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this? Because this is not, the Ruqya is not experiments and things like this. So, we shouldn't be playing around with Ruqya to see what we're going to get. Let me see if I get a reaction for this. You shouldn't be doing that. And if you did, it's just a jinn playing around with you. Keep away from doing things like this. Because really, it's not sincere. Ruqya's got to be sincere. You've got to be really asking Allah. And if you're doing that, you're not really asking. You're saying, let me see if I get a reaction for this. And then that's one of the reasons I wrote that article, 7 Rules of Specific Ruqya. Because I saw people, you teach them 1 or 2 things and they started doing strange things. And I was thinking, after I taught 1 or 2 people, I said, it's not really worth teaching people this because they're going to go off on another tangent, And they start doing strange things. It seems like, oh, brother, I've got ayn from this, subhanAllah, So if you keep away from doing strange things like that, stick to what I've just said here, then you shouldn't really have a problem. Okay, if you want more information, you can go to my article, 7 Rules of Specific Ruqya, and get more information there, on what can be done, what can't be done with specific Ruqya. Now, if you've identified someone and they don't want to give you any water, even after you offer them your water, they still don't want to give you any water, what can you do? Well, like I've said in Practical Self-Ruqya Part 1, what you can do is try to find some of the things that they've touched, tissues, some spoons, some cutlery, plates, cups, maybe door handles which they've touched, Getting all those things together. And with a door handle, what you would do, you get a wet tissue and you wipe it, or wipe where they've been, basically. So if they've touched a particular door handle or whatever, then go wipe that area and collect all those tissues and then put them into a bathtub of water and then put those pieces in, tissues in there and then put those things inside, or even the cutlery into the water and let it soak in there for about 15 minutes and then take it all out. Take all the cutlery and all the plates and the tissues out and then go into that water and then inshallah ta'ala you'll get some benefit from there. Now I've never seen anybody get the complete cure through that, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, And the other thing you can do, if you can't get their water, is obviously doing jet hijama, which I talk about in the Practical Self-Ruqya Part 4 and 5 and 6, Doing jet hijama to get rid of the ayn, and that's possible. I did it on my daughter. It works. So you can use jet hijama to try to remove the ayn from people. Okay. So hijama is just not for sihr or jinn possession. It can be used for ayn as well. You see. And obviously the other thing you can do is you keep reading Ruqya on yourself. Inshallah ta'ala, that should cure the ayn. You see. Now I hope that is clear. If you stick to what I've just said there, then inshallah ta'ala, hopefully you'll be able to find out who's giving you the ayn. You might find that it's yourself. You've given yourself ayn. And then, and if that's the case, you wash with your own water and then inshallah ta'ala it will cure you. But if it's other people, like we said, you will offer them your water and then you take their water for them, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, that's that. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.